Welcome to this explainer. So, imagine, if you will, that we're all gathering around a metaphorical campfire tonight. We're stepping completely away from the familiar sunlit world of understood science, and we're venturing out into the dark, unsolved corners of evolution. Let's dive right in because what we're about to explore literally defies all of our standard rulebooks.
You see, nature is absolutely brimming with secrets. I mean, even with all of our modern technology, satellite tracking, genetic sequencing, our planet is still hiding creatures with impossible abilities. We're talking about adaptations that seem like they come not from Earth, but from another world entirely. These are the biological anomalies that keep scientists awake at night.
So, lean in close to the fire, because we're counting down 10 biological mysteries that completely baffle the scientific community. And make sure you stick with me until the very end, because our final enigma? It's a creature that may have actually unlocked the secret to immortality. Are you ready?
Section 1. Shadows in the Dark. Creatures lurking in the abyss.
We begin our journey in the darkest forests and the deepest, most crushing depths of our oceans. These are places where the line between myth and reality really begins to blur. Now, hidden deep in the remote forests of Madagascar lives a creature that honestly looks like it crawled straight out of a horror movie, the Eye. Picture this, right? Glowing eyes piercing the darkness, oversized bat-like ears, and a skeletal, incredibly long middle finger. It uses this creepy elongated finger to tap rhythmically on tree bark in the dead of night, just listening for the hollow echoes of insects hiding inside. But here's the mystery. Researchers still don't fully understand how its unique, highly specialized sensory abilities evolved. It's so strange that it's been the subject of local myths and superstitions for centuries.
Leaving the dark forest, our next shadowy figure plunges us right into the pitch-black ocean. Meet the Goblin Shark. It's a deep ocean dweller often referred to as a living fossil. This is a predator that has remained largely unchanged for millions of years. It was silently patrolling the abyss long before humans ever walked the earth.
And its most bizarre, nightmarish feature? Well, it's the jaw. In a fraction of a second, the goblin shark can shoot its jaw completely forward, literally out of its face, to snatch unaware prey in the darkness. Because these sharks live at such extreme, crushing depths, human encounters are incredibly rare. They're basically literal shadows, leaving their behavior, their reproduction, and the true size of their population a complete and total mystery to science.
This elusive nature brings us to another phantom of the deep, the colossal squid. Lurking in the freezing, pitch-black waters of the Southern Ocean, this is one of the largest invertebrates ever discovered. Yet, almost everything about it is written in question marks. Very few alive specimens have ever been observed by human eyes.
The scale of this creature is absolutely staggering. To put it into perspective, it grows longer than a standard school bus. It possesses the largest eyes in the entire animal kingdom, eyes the size of dinner plates, designed to capture whatever faint glimmers of light exist down there in the abyss. Yet despite its massive size, it remains a giant ghost. Researchers are still fiercely debating its hunting behavior, its life cycle, and exactly how many of these leviathans are actually out there in the dark.
Moving on to Section 2. Bizarre evolutionary anomalies, the Frankenstein monsters of nature.
As our metaphorical campfire burns down and the night gets a little darker, we encounter creatures that seem stitched together from completely different animals, kind of like biological Frankenstein monsters wandering the earth. Take the platypus. When it was first described, people literally thought it was a hoax, and you can definitely see why. It's an Australian chimera that mixes traits from mammals, reptiles, and birds. I mean, it has a duck's bill, it lays eggs like a reptile, yet it produces milk, and the males even have venomous spurs on their ankles. If that wasn't enough, it hunts by detecting faint electrical signals produced by underwater prey. Scientists still don't completely understand how this bizarre patchwork of remarkable traits developed through evolution.
And speaking of bizarre appendages, let's look at the narwhal, often called the unicorn of the sea. For the longest time, scientists thought its famous spiral tusk was just for fighting, or maybe showing off for mates, but recent studies revealed something way stranger. The tusk is actually a highly sensitive sensory organ, packed with millions of nerve endings. It detects temperature, pressure, and even the chemistry of the water. But the mystery deepens here. Why do some narwhals have multiple tusks? And exactly how are they processing this immense influx of sensory data in the wild? We just don't know.
Adding to our list of anatomical anomalies is the Saiga Antelope. At first glance, it looks almost comical, with this fleshy, oversized, downward-pointing nose. Now, we know this unique structure evolved to filter out dust during dry migrations and warm up freezing air during harsh winters. But scientists are still trying to figure out why it became so drastically specialized compared to every other antelope species out there. But there's a darker mystery here too. These animals are prone to unexplainable, massive, sudden population die-offs. Thousands just perish unexpectedly, leaving researchers scrambling in the wild, desperate for answers to what unseen force is taking them out.
Section 3. Masters of Impossible Survival, Defying the Elements. Our campfire story now turns to creatures that don't just endure, but thrive in conditions that should absolutely kill them on the spot. Imagine an animal so stealthy it becomes essentially invisible. The glass frog has a completely transparent underside. You can literally look right through its skin and watch its tiny heartbeat, see its intestines, and view its blood vessels. It's wild. To avoid predators, it achieves this transparency through a biological magic trick. Recent research suggests they mysteriously hide almost all of their red blood cells inside their liver when they go to sleep. How they evolved this extraordinary, physics-defying adaptation is still one of nature's biggest unsolved mysteries.
But, hey, if we're talking about surviving the impossible, we have to talk about the tardigrade, affectionately known as the water bear. These microscopic creatures are the ultimate survivors, enduring conditions that straight up break the rules of biology. They survive freezing temperatures, intense, DNA-shattering radiation, the crushing pressure of the deep ocean, and get this, even the literal vacuum of outer space. We understand a few of the mechanisms, but the big question remains, how did such an extreme, almost alien level of resilience evolve on Earth? Figuring this out could one day be the key to helping humans survive in deadly, unlivable environments across the universe.
Section 4. Defying Death Itself, the Secret to Immortality.
Now the embers of our fire are glowing red. We've reached the climax of our campfire tale, biological entities that seemingly refuse to die. We're talking about defying death itself. Take the axolotl. It possesses a superpower that feels like it belongs in a comic book, not a biology lab. It's this remarkable amphibian that looks at devastating, fatal injuries and simply shrugs them off. It can regenerate entire lost limbs perfectly. It can regrow parts of its heart, repair a severed spinal cord, and even regenerate missing sections of its own brain. Researchers have spent decades staring through microscopes at this creature, but they still don't fully understand the mechanics of how this regeneration actually works. If scientists can unlock the axolotl's mystery, it could completely revolutionize human medicine and tissue regeneration forever.
But at the very top of our list of mysteries is a creature that goes one step further than healing. It's an animal that treats aging not as an inevitable march toward death, but as a reversible spell, the immortal jellyfish. When this tiny creature experiences severe injury, extreme stress, or simply gets old and nears death, it hits a biological reset button. It literally reverses its own aging process, transforming its cells back into an infantile state, and then begins its life cycle all over again. It is a terrifying, fascinating, infinite loop of life.
So, in theory, this cycle can repeat indefinitely. It's an animal that may have truly discovered the secret to eternal life. Scientists are desperately studying this jellyfish, hoping to understand the biological mechanisms behind this apparent immortality. But for now, it stubbornly holds on to its secrets, remaining one of the most fascinating, unsolved mysteries in the entire animal kingdom.
From deep-sea ghosts and chimera creatures, to frogs that literally hide their own blood, and jellyfish that rewind the clock on death itself, nature's dark woods are full of mysteries that human science simply cannot explain yet. So I want to know which of these strange tales from around our campfire captured your imagination the most. Let me know below. And until next time, keep questioning what you think is possible, because out there in the dark, nature is rewriting the rules every single day.